All right, this video I want to show you a couple of pressure signs. Your primer is one of your first indicators of a high pressure load. So if you look along this bottom row here, pretty much all these are normal. This is 9mm. They're all 9mm brass I picked up from the range. Second row, you'll see something that some people will say is iffy. You'll notice some primer flow back into the firing pin hole on the bolt face. These are actually normal. I mean, you'll see this a lot. This isn't really an indicator of a high pressure load. Now up here, you're going to start getting into some pretty hot loads. You can see the primer is flattened. This one here is rounded on the edges, but you can actually see some machine marks from the bolt face on this primer. This one here is actually protruding a little bit. It's hard to see from the video, but it actually protrudes a little bit. This primer here is almost blown. And the firing pin went so deep into that hole is pretty deep, and you can see machine marks from the bolt face on the primer. And the same with these over here. You start seeing machine marks and things, you need to back off a little bit. You know, primer's not always 100% indicator of high pressure, but your primer is one of your first things you definitely want to look at. These here are probably the worst of the bunch. And most likely reloads with a silver primer in their Federal, CCI. A lot of them will use silver primers. I've had some Fiocchi primers that were silver. Now, down here where you've got primer flow, these could be Winchesters or they could have been factory. Well, it is a Winchester piece of brass. But like here, Federal primers are known to have a fairly soft cup on them, so you can expect to see a little primer flow from those. But you'll see these all the time, especially from Glocks. In fact, Glock actually says that the firing pin hole indent itself is normal. But the main thing, you got rounded edges on the brass, that's fine. Up here where you've got the brass is flattened, that means it was slammed against the bolt face so hard it actually flattened out. There's no rounded corners left on these primers. But just something to look for. It's early sign. You start seeing primers like this, it wouldn't hurt to back off your load some.